Ándale is very common. It's very Mexican. You've probably heard it before. However, there is a high likelihood that you don't know how to use it in real conversation. ¿Qué onda, vatos locos? What's up, guys? Levi here with Mexican Fluency, where we talk about all things Mexico and all things Mexican Spanish. So, just like part one, we are going to cover 4 Spanish filler words that are super essential if you're in Mexico, in the United States, or anywhere else where Mexican Spanish is spoken. And so these words are extremely important whenever you are listening to real conversational Spanish and you want to try to better decipher what's being said. You want the conversation to seem a little bit more slowed down. By learning these words, this will greatly help you take that first step. ¿Estás listo? Pues qué bueno, vamos a empezar. First Mexican Spanish filler word for today is going to be ándale. Okay, for starters, ándale means hurry up or get on with it. And it really depends on the context, right? So if your Mexican mom was yelling at you, right? Ándale, ándale, vámonos, ándale. So it's like, come on, let's go. Like, move it, let's go. Another way to use ándale, and you hear this a lot, if you are speaking in Spanish, you might get the response of ándale, right? Ándale. And this means like really, like you're telling a story, right? Ándale. Like that's like really. We say that all the time, right? Another way that you might hear ándale in Mexican Spanish is like you are saying something and the Mexican is going to be agreeing with you about it. And they'll say like, you say, like if you're talking about food, la comida está muy rica en, ¿cómo se llama el lugar? Like you're like thinking, what is the name of the restaurant? Let's say Chimi's, right? Let's say you say Chimi's, and your Mexican friend could say, ándale, ándale, like they're agreeing with you. So ándale is very, very difficult. So it can mean many different things. So review this part of the video if you're confused at all. Even it confuses me sometimes too, but that is important to understand at least where Mexicans are coming from when they communicate ándale to you. The second Mexican Spanish filler word for this video is a ver. So it's actually written in 2 words, right? So you have a, the preposition, followed by ver. Okay, so a ver. This means let's see. So let's see, right? A ver. So I could ask you, what do you want to do tonight? ¿Qué quieres hacer esta noche? And you could say, a ver, ¿qué podemos hacer? A ver, let's see. What can we do, right? You hear this all the time. It's one I personally use all the time when speaking. And so listen for it. That's step 1. Listen, listen, listen. And then begin to try to use it in your own sentences when you're having Spanish classes or Mexican Spanish conversations. All right, number 3. The third Mexican Spanish filler word for this video is going to be híjole. Híjole, you can consider this to be a filler word or just kind of like an exclamation. Híjole. And this means like, oh boy, híjole. So we say this in English too. Oh boy, right? Something wild happens, something unexpected happens. Oh man, oh boy, híjole, híjole. And it's not vulgar at all. It's used by the elderly all the way down to, kids that are 5, 6, 7 years old. Híjole, híjole. So pretty simple, but again, make sure to listen for it. And when you are comfortable, when you have the opportunity, try to integrate it into your Spanish speaking. Number 4 for Spanish filler words is going to be digo. Digo is equivalent to English's I mean. So if you make a mistake, right, which happens all the time for us gringos speaking Spanish, you make a mistake, and you say, digo, da, da, da. So, for example, nos vemos en la cena a las 6. Okay, so I'll see you at dinner at 6. All right, this is just an example. Nos vemos en la cena a las 6. Digo las 7. Right? I mean, it's 7. This is very common. So if you're watching Mexican telenovelas, if you're watching Netflix, Mexican Netflix, or whatever you're listening to, it could be a podcast, listen for digo, da, 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 da. Changing direction a little bit. Digo indicates a mess up, and they're going to change direction and correct what they previously said. That is all I got for this video, guys. Espero que les haya gustado. I hope you have liked it. If you like Mexican fluency, if you like this video, make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm posting stuff all on these platforms. I also have a podcast called the Mexican Fluency Podcast. Okay, and this is basically just Mexican Spanish conversation. It's entirely in Spanish. And I also have courses. I have the Spanish Fundamentals course, which is excellent for beginners. That takes you from zero and tries to bring you up to an intermediate level of fluency. And I also have the Spanish Immersion program that is taking the podcast, giving you transcripts, vocabulary training, everything that you need to be able to better understand those conversations. I will end this video right now. Muchas gracias de nuevo y nos vemos en el próximo video. Adiós, chavos.